Today on Knife Banter, we're going to sit down and talk to Batman. Let's talk knives. How's it going, guys? And welcome to Knife Banter. Today we are talking to the man himself, Nick Shabazz. How you doing, Nick?
Hey, everybody. Nick here. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Oh, doing great. Now, as many of you know, Nick is so handsome that if he shows his face on the internet, he'll literally bring the internet down to a stop. So he's going to give us
compassion.
He's going to give us his normal top-down view so you guys can see the knives that he has.
Live from the table.
There we go. We're going to be looking at just 10 of your favorites right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I brought 10 knives, 5 that you can get, 5 that I can get, and we'll take it that way.
Take it that way. Now, you wanted to flex a little bit, so you're going to start with some of the premium stuff, then we're going to go into more of the production budget stuff.
Yeah, what do I do on the channel if not flex?
Hi, guys.
Yeah, we'll start with some of the stuff that's a little harder to get.
Okay, let's do it. What do you got? What's up first?
So we'll start off with probably the hardest to get one, and that's this little guy right here. This is a HOLT BLADEWORKS SPECTER pocket knife. This is in Damasteel and Damasteel. This is a completely ridiculous and bourgeois pocket knife, but it's one that brings me a great deal of joy for a bunch of reasons. Great detent, adjustable detent system, and frankly, I just really think I think it's freaking pretty, okay? So I'm definitely a big fan of this guy, and this is in a place of honor in my collection.
It is super pretty. So a knife like this, what draws you to a knife like this? Something this, I mean, obviously, besides just the wow factor of it, what draws you to a knife like this?
Well, this is about as close as my collection comes to like super full dress kind of things, you know, because I think it shows off the beauty of the materials in a couple of ways with a very nice Damascus sort of blade finish here. You can see Batman mask. I'm Batman. In it if you look close. But you can, it shows off the materials well. It shows off the anodization. And the HOLTs are folks who I think, among many good custom makers, but who are they're really good at the precision required to, you look at every detail of this and it's like, yeah, that's well done. And so I think it's kind of the mastery of it, right? Of both the materials, the finishing, all of that comes together to a knife that's just really, really, really freaking good. And so, for me at least, not only do I appreciate it aesthetically, but I respect all of the pain and suffering, frankly, that went into it. And so, and it carries great and cuts great too. So that's a win as well.
Right. Not only is it pretty, a lot of handiwork, but then it does the job that it's supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. And
so
as far as CNC knives, it's great.
Are you actually using it? You're actually cutting with it?
I actually do carry this guy. I'm going to be honest.
Crazy.
It doesn't hop into the pocket, every damn day, certainly. I mean, nothing does, being what I do. But nonetheless, I will definitely carry this, and especially on days of some, personal consequence, or if I'm dressed up a little bit, why the heck not, right? Throw it in the pocket. And so this guy, is definitely, there's probably some box opening residue on the side of it there, and, strop it up, sharpen it. Why not? Because if I can't carry it, it's just rusting metal, right? For me, I have to carry everything. It doesn't get
I might make a sticker that says, if I can't carry it, it's just rusted metal.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. It's
good.
Just always, that's what stops me from being a hoarder, right? Well, okay. I won't claim to have avoided that.
Nice.
So kind of on the other end of the spectrum in a lot of ways is this guy right here. This is a Protech Sprint, but this is in their custom line. Their, what's the fancy term for this? Their ultimate custom variety. The HOLT is entirely CNC done, right, with some nice hand finishing. This is hand engraved, and they actually managed to put the logo in there, which brings me some joy.
I was gonna say, I just noticed that. That is beautiful.
Oh, I know, right? I took this out of the box and damn near lost it. Yeah, it's an absolutely gorgeous knife with a very nice Damascus, but all of the engraving is done here by hand, by an actual artist. And so you can actually see his signature right there, Bruce Shaw. But anyways, it's sort of the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Of, this has a billion hours of CNC time and hand finishing and that kind of thing, whereas this has that hand engraving in it on top of what is already, look, the Protech Sprints are just a great knife, generally speaking, especially if you're in a place where you got restrictive auto laws, like California.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so, and again, you get the beauty of the materials, etc. But this brings me a lot of joy just at that level, the handwork.
Yeah, no, the handiwork on those is incredible. If you guys watching haven't seen our Protech shop tour, we have some footage in there of him actually hand engraving some knives, so check that out. But I've got a production version of the Sprint here with me, And even the production version of these things are just beautiful, right? Super snappy. I mean, it comes in an S35VN blade with the aluminum chassis. But you've got like the recessed deep carry clip. And, you know, we say it again and again, and I'm sure the same is true with the one in your hands, but it is just so snappy, right? Just that Protech snap.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a good little knife is the other thing. I mean, it's nice in the hand. It's a good knife for when you actually got to carry things, right? And if your hands are a little bit too big for this guy, the half-breed, where they got the Newport handle, and it's a weird-looking knife, absolutely, but it's an absolutely wonderful one. So I'm a big fan of the Protech Sprint.
Half-breed, not my jam, but I know a lot of guys out there do like that one.
Especially if you can't look, if you're not in California, just go ahead and get the Newport, right? Absolutely beautiful thing. Well, the Magic is another good one. Okay, so now we're going into slightly more production territory. This is a Chris Reeve Knives MNANDI, Blade HQ exclusive, I think.
Yeah, I believe we were talking about this before. I'm 99% sure that's an exclusive pattern.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else has done the carbon fiber, but at the very least, the reason this knife is actually special to me, and I've got a video on my channel about that, but this was actually sent to me by my viewers. A bunch of people kind of banded together, and after I lost my Alambic busker, actually, it was taken out of my pocket in Vegas, which sucked, but a bunch of people got together, and as kind of a thank you, or just maybe they're crazy, I don't know, but they banded together and put together cash and ended up getting this guy my way. And so, you know, it's a beautiful knife, and I'm a big fan of the MNANDI. I recommend it generally, but it just carries a lot more meaning for me because this is from the people who support me in the community. And so if I'm doing something super important with my day, like, you know, the day I signed my mortgage papers, this was in my pocket, that kind of thing. Cool. It's just there as a show of support from the world. So this will always mean more to me than just any Chris Reeve Knives MNANDI, even in the carbon fiber.
No, that's really, really special. I say it all the time on here, but the knife community is just full of the best people.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. And I haven't heard, so I don't want to bring up old wounds, but you got pickpocketed? Is that what happened to this Olmec?
I did, yeah. At least I'm pretty sure I did, because I carried that knife 1 billion times and never had it fall out of my... but yeah, I'm out in Vegas with my freaking wife, and here this idiot takes the FRN chaparral out of his pocket and thinks, we're going to a fancy dinner, I'll grab a fancy knife. And so and this was on our way moving out to California, so it's like, damn it. So yeah, we go out for a dinner, and I come back, and I'm like, where the heck's my pocket knife? And I retrace my steps, and, you know, the guys in the security at the casino we were staying at were just like, yeah, it's gone. But yeah, it's that really sucked. I ended up getting another busker, which I love too. But this was a nice... it made it feel a lot better, we'll put it that way.
No, yeah, that definitely a little bit of balm for that wound. And exactly. I actually grabbed one of those off the shelf. Similar, this is actually Blade HQ exclusive as well, but this has got a Damascus blade on it. And this thing it's nice. Yeah, I sat down with Ann Reeve, and we talked about this knife, and she said that the way that she says it is MNANDI, because she likes it so much. It's like her go-to pocket knife.
Oh, it's great. It's a great design. So we were just in production country. Now this is flat out custom. This is actually my only sort of full custom handmade knife, and that's the PENA knives. This is a front flipper trapper. He's done a run of these recently with Rayot in his X series. That's quite good as well. But he sent this guy out to me to take a look at it. Just kind of for mostly feedback, I gathered. It was just like, no, Enrique, this isn't going home. What do I owe you? And, you know, because it's just, you know, in the same way that the HOLT is a machine CNC kind of perfection situation, this is a handmade one. And it's just so damn good in every meaningful way. It's so smooth. It's a little front flipper. It's a weird design, too. I'm a big fan of this knife, generally speaking. And so this is sort of the embodiment of custom knife making that's in my collection. And I like Enrique both as a human. Have you dealt much with him? He's great, right?
Yeah, no, really, really good guy. And like you said, not only beautiful designs, but the custom stuff that I've handled that is his, just next level custom work.
Yeah. His custom stuff is impeccable. And then the final one is maybe the hardest to get of all, and that's the Spyderco SLYSZ BOWIE.
You had to pull it out.
I had to. I got to flex, right? This is a knife that was just production. It was just like a $325 Spyderco, I think, when it landed. But it's just so damn good. I have video after video explaining that, and it's just it's amazing. And I don't know. I love the SLYSZ BOWIE so damn much, and I wish I could recommend it to everybody because, well, I still do, but they can't get it. It's not a $600 knife. Don't listen to eBay, but it's just damn good, and I carry it still.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, on that higher end of knives you have there, I like. It seems like everyone kind of has a purpose, right? Kind of has a place.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know about you, but that's how most of my knife collection is there's a purpose and a place for almost everything that I have, right? So
yeah,
I love
absolutely.
to see that there.
Yeah, you got to have that. And like I said, if it never ends up getting carried, it never ends up sticking around for me. I can love it, to all the world, but if it ain't getting in the pocket, it ain't a thing.
What is it? If it's just sitting around, it's just rusted metal? Was that the same?
Yeah, just rusting metal. And then let's see here on the production side. No, Z Hunter, bad. Stay out of this. Sorry, you get.
We know how they can be.
Over. Yeah, they're a pain. On the production side, I tried to pick out a couple of things from my collection that are a little bit more obtainable and, frankly, just as awesome in their own special ways. Start off actually with this guy. This is the Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight. I've done a blade swap on this. So this is a Maximet blade from a regular Para 3 that I went ahead and put in there. But I just like the Para 3 Lightweight a lot. It's great.
Yeah. It's a really good one. This is one that so many people are talking about. I'm actually going to be buying one of these tomorrow because I haven't carried one. And I'm not a fan of it when I handle it on camera. I need to get it in my pocket for a while. So actually tomorrow, my plan is to buy one of those and carry it for a while so I can give it a fair review.
Yeah, it's one of those that I think is, in the hand, you just look at it, it's like, well, it's a Para 3, but it's plasticky. But in practice, it carries well. It's the Delica 5, and we all know the Spyderco Delica is something I love. So yeah. I like this knife just substantially. There's a lot of joy in it. And also, by the way, after you adjust it a little bit, get everything cleaned up, then it really starts singing. So, yeah, that helps too.
For sure. And you kind of flashed it there for a little while. I actually grabbed one of these because I know that the lightweight Chaparral is also one of your favorites. Kind of almost tied, it sounds like.
Yeah, it really is. I was kind of torn. As I bring mine own up, I was very torn as to whether I wanted to do the Chaparral or the Para 3. In a lot of ways, I just figured I tend to like smaller knives, and the Para 3 is just a little bit big. Although again, it's not all that substantially bigger, right? Mm-hmm. But this is just so damn small and thin, and it's a good value. There's a lot to love about the Chaparral Lightweight. The Chaparral FRN, sorry, it's not actually a lightweight.
Yeah, the FRN, it's lightweight, but not called lightweight.
Yeah, and it's freaking tiny in the pocket is what it is. Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, the Spyderco Dragonfly is definitely another one that I got to include because it's... do you even have to say nice things about the Dragonfly? Does everyone just kind of know them at this point?
Right.
Even for people with bigger hands, this actually, I think this works. I'm not saying I'm one of those people, mind you, but it's just so damn good. It's great for travel, and in a lot of ways, that's kind of the niche for this guy. This is most likely to end up in my suitcase for a trip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the ZDP 189 version. There are all kinds of sprints and whatnot out there, and yeah, just great piece.
The thing that I love about the Dragonfly is the jimping that you get, right? And that forward choil and on the spine there. Because with a smaller knife, it's something be able to choke up a little bit, get a nice secure feel in your hand, especially if you do have a bigger hand. I'm a big fan of that with this one.
Yeah, that pinch grip that you get right up here is just so secure. It's like even with just these two fingers, this knife's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
But then you throw in the rest of the hand and it's gravy, right?
Yeah, and that back lock, man, with a smaller knife as well, like having a nice, strong lock is something I love about smaller knives. It's like, okay, you're smaller, but you're going to get the job done.
Yeah, and this and the Chaparral are both fully ambidextrous knives, too. So 10% of the population's totally jazzed about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, big fan of that.
Cool.
Let's just finish with the last Spyderco on the list here, and that's this little guy. This is a Spyderco Shaman. We're not going to talk about where the scales came from, but this is a Blade HQ M4 sprint run, actually.
Now, this is something funny. This is something funny about this knife because when you got it with the original scales, you dyed those G10 ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you found some other scales that you liked.
What actually happened is that a viewer of mine said, "Hey, Nick, I really like how those G10 scales turned out. Would you be willing to trade for the wood ones?" And I'm like,
"That's awesome.
Yes, I would." And, generally I don't do that many of those kinds of things, but I like the I like the look of the wood there because it, helps to soothe the scared people in your life.
So I actually have a Shaman here in G10, and out of all the knives you've shown, this one is this is the biggest knife so far on the table. Is this the biggest one in your top 10?
Yeah, there's an honorable mention. It's a little bit bigger, but yeah, this is definitely toward the big end for me in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've got a special place. This is actually, the Shaman would probably end up in my top 10 list as well. I don't know if you know, but I made my card of scales for one a while back, and yeah, it's got a special place in my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a very easy knife to just throw in the pocket because, like, if I'm doing home improvement stuff, or it's just like I know that whatever I end up doing, the Shaman's going to be freaking fine, right?
Yep.
There's no concern with it at all. So yeah, this is just a real easy knife to throw in the pocket. Then after that, let's go with this is another great knife. That's frankly, if I just had to have two knives, one could make a pretty good argument that the Shaman and the DRM Atom could cover me, right?
That's a big statement. I like that.
It's a real big statement, but I mean, it's tough. It really is, because the DRM Atom is just an amazing piece. Partly because, I mean, like some of these guys are, it's made in the States, which I really like to support. But it's got this blade that is just amazingly thin and amazingly slicey. And so it cuts like nobody's business, and it's got a good ergonomics. It's got these scales that you can swap around for other colors on there. It's got a great clip. It's just like, this is such a hit out of the park that I'm in love with it. I got a set of micarta scales on here, but I also got one with a set of rosewood scales from DRM. I'm just a big fan of the Atom generally.
Oh, that's awesome. We had some bone one in a while back.
Nice. And
then we'll be getting a bunch more of these. So we actually have them coming soon on the website. So hopefully soon those will be up and ready. Because yeah, I don't own one, but I have handled those, and you were right, they are really nice knives.
Yeah, and if you're not looking for something seriously beefy, oh my God, hard use, then oh my God, you're hard pressed to find anything better in this world. It's just such a good all-around pocket knife for most people in their daily lives. Then I guess the final one I had to pull out is predictably the Ontario Rat number 2. This one here is in D2 steel, but you can get it, other steels. I think Oz 8 is the other one.
Yeah, no, funny story. I actually have one in Oz 8 because I didn't grab the D2 one, but
oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
So yeah. And
no,
I mean,
what?
Just this is staple, right? I mean, when you're talking top 10 knives, I think that most people would have a Rat 2 somewhere in there, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's the best budget knife that I can recommend on a regular basis, just because it's so low. It's just such a good tool, right? It's got an amazingly thin edge. It's got good ergonomics. It's well built. It's hard to kill. You could, by the way, if you wanted to swap the Rat 1 in there, you absolutely could. It's a little big for me in my life, but it's just as good of a knife. And I think scratches the same itch for people who are preferring a little bit more size there. But
sure.
Yeah, so the Rat 2 is just amazing. And for the price, I'll still carry one. It's such a damn good knife. And especially in the D2. Oh yeah.
It really is hard to beat. And when you're talking about a knife like an M4 Shaman, right, where it's a tough steel, it's a big tough knife. I mean, if I was going to go do dirty work, I would almost carry the Rat 2 just cuz I like my Shaman too much. Does that make sense?
No, look, there are definitely days where I'm not carrying the HOLT, right? No,
yeah, right.
I'm with you. Yeah, there's something to be said for if you're doing something that's a little abusive, you just, you know what, Shaman, you can sit this round out, right? Yeah. I mean, M4 can take it, but let's not make it take it. Yeah. And when you got the variety, you might as well take advantage, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, there are a lot of good budget options out there, but I just keep recommending this guy to people in my life over and over and over again, because every time I do, they're like, damn, that's a good little knife. And it's like, yes, it is. So those are my top 10. I got some honorable mentions. The Cold Steel 8015 snuck onto the table somehow, which is just, it's crazy how they basically made a Demco custom, but they made it cheaper. It's good. It's just good.
That's I actually talked to somebody who had handled the Demco custom and then had an 8015, and they were like, honestly, it's almost right there. It's so dang close, and for production, it's like unbelievable. I guess how similar they are. I have an 8015 and I love it, but I've never handled the custom. But I guess it's just amazing.
Yeah, I owned the custom for a while, and I ended up selling it because I never ended up carrying it all that much. But then I got the Cold Steel. It was like, Oh, yes. And so this is just so damn good. And it's, Cold Steel's having a really good year, I think, or at least a couple of years here. And this one was really impressive to me. So probably not it doesn't find that much time in my pocket, but it's certainly among the top 10 knives out there these days. So yeah, that's my top 10, both on the personal side and on the everyday side that people can actually get a hold of.
Love it.
And there you go.
Well, thanks so much, man, for coming on. So I'm going to ask you the hardest question.
Oh, no.
What if you could only have one on the table, one knife on the table? Which one would it be?
You're killing me. Nosy Hunter, stop. Sorry. Probably for me, I did a video where I anguished through my collection. The SLYSZ BOWIE is really good as like an everyday. This was my one knife actually for a long time. Like this knife got me through grad school, cool. At least it's certainly in part. And so for a while, this stopped me collecting. So that was a really good one. But then, each of these are just like, I would hate to sell. If I were just a random jackass on the street, which I am, but it might be the TRM Atom. I think it's just, It's a knife that's just so good all around. For the tasks in my life, that if I had to just choose one, all emotions and sentiments aside, this would probably be it, especially the ones that's available. There's a reason this was my knife of the year, right? It's just so good. So yeah, that's where I'd land. Tough question.
No, that's good. And I love this. I have to ask this question because I think so many of us have so many personal connection to certain knives, right?
Yeah,
it's like, I would never get, like in your case, you'd probably never get rid of that MNANDI,
no,
right?
Absolutely
and
not.
Probably never get rid of that Sprint, but if you had to get down to one, Yeah.
Oh, exactly. And that's a super agonizing process. And it's like not on the table is the knife I carried in my wedding, a GEC.
Right.
And so it's like, you're killing me over here. I couldn't do it. So I'm glad I don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. For anybody who's watching right now, let us know down in the comments. If you had one knife out of your collection, let us know. Because it's always a fun exercise in agonizing which one you'd carry.
That's fun.
All right. Well, Nick, thank you so much for being on. If you guys don't know, you should know. But if you don't know, Nick is here on YouTube. He does awesome knife reviews. And you just hit 100,000 subscribers. So huge congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
For sure. So if you guys aren't subscribed to Nick, head over there and get subscribed. And I think we'd be remiss if I didn't get a pocket dump from you, Nick.
Pocket dump.
Yeah,
Today,
what are you carrying right now? On the spot.
Today, I actually had in my pocket this little guy. This is coming up soon. Cool. This is the PENA front flipper Zulu. Actually, this is a different pattern, but the same idea as the front flipper trapper I was showing off there. So I got this guy in the pocket for review at the moment, which is, it's good. It's real freaking good. And then aside from that, I'm sheltering in place, so I'm not fully kitted out, so to speak.
Right.
Don't exactly need a flashlight in my house,
Exactly. Right on. Well,
but yeah, thank you.
No, again, thank you so much for the time. And if you guys want more knife content, make sure to hit subscribe here on Blade HQ's channel. Check out Nick, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Oh, hey. Welcome to the end screen social distancing walk with Jamie. If you like what you saw here today, consider hitting subscribe to Blade HQ. Also, if you want to check out some of the knives that Nick and Zach talked about, go to bladehq.com. Make sure you check out the playlist for Knife Banter below. And it's time for me to get out of the sun before I turn bright red.